Hi, so I am here today to show you how to create a relief tile. And a relief tile is, think of a bathroom tile. That's what this piece of clay looks like, just a flat piece of clay. But the word relief means raised from the surface. So think of the surface of a coin or any little sculpture that's on a wall that has a raised, like a bronze plaque that maybe has a picture of someone. Those are examples of relief sculptures. So this is kind of a fun project, and I'm just going to show you basically how you would get this started. I may have to go get some softer clay, but if I do, I will do that. So I made a sketch of my idea. Here's my idea, kind of a Christmassy little cardinal on a tree branch, just some branches around him and some berries. So normally, under normal conditions, I would have you roll out this tile, roll out the clay through the slab roller, but because of COVID, I will be doing it myself and prepping the tile for you. So you'll get it like this. I will have had the clay, and I will have compressed it with a metal rib to make sure we get any little pockets of air or whatever out of it. This is my spare clay, but I'm just showing you how I compress it. Then I would lay a pattern on the clay and cut around it just like this with a needle tool to make my tile. So I cut the template the size I want it to be. This one is 6 inches, and that's what you'll be using. So now I have a picture of what I want to create here, and you can actually kind of take a tool and start by just kind of sketching your idea, tracing it on, pressing into the clay a little bit. I'm not going to do all the leaves, but I'll put on the branch and the cardinal himself, maybe where his wing is and where his tail is. But I'm going to make this then three-dimensional. So I have to kind of think what order I would want to put things on in, but this will just give me a little bit of a way to go. And I'm sure you probably can't really see that real well, but there's just enough dents in there that I can kind of see where my cardinal is. So I would probably start with my cardinal, and I'm going to take this piece and kind of trace my cardinal into it over here so that I can cut it out. Just their basic shape. I can change it. I can add to it or whatever, but I'm just going to get kind of the basic shape traced, and then I'll take my needle tool and cut that shape out. Now stay out away from your line on the outside of it, or you may get your shape smaller than you want it to be. Now I don't want him to look like a cutout, a cookie. I want him to look like he's part of the background. So I'll just peel that away. This will give me a way to start it. Like I said, I can do a lot of changing. So I'm going to lay that on, keep my little drawing nearby, and I don't want this to have like sides on it. I want him to look like he's a cardinal, like he's rounded. So I probably first thing would be score it and slip it. And you all have a fork. And here's my slip, and I'll score the back of it. Remember, nothing stays put unless you get it scored and slipped. And I'll kind of score and slip where I want him to be here. Like I said, just starting with basic shapes. Fill with a little slip. Chunky there. Fill in the creases or the cracks that you have made. Like I maybe needed a little more You can always do this with your little pointy stick too, or whatever you have. Okay, so I'm going to lay him on there where I want him to be. Some of the slip may kind of come out the sides. That's okay, you just clean it up. Now, like I said, I don't want him to have flat sides. I want him to feel like he's coming up out of the background here. He's on the background. So I'm going to do some smoothing and shaping to kind of make him be part of the back, like there's sky behind him, but I don't want him to look like he's a cut out cookie on top of there. I want him to look like a cardinal. So I'm going to blend his tail, and I don't have to have all this height. I could have actually made him a little thinner. Oops. I'm trying to hurry so I don't make a video that's really long. And I'd probably go up next to him and try to, get rid of those creases. I want him to look like a little fat cardinal, chubby, that he's eating a lot of food so I can get through the winter. But see how I'm kind of curving him into the surface there. And I can always add to them if I need to build it up more here or there, if I need to take some away. Because we're going to be using for this sculpture additive and subtractive processes. So additive is when you take clay and add it to the piece that you're working on. So what do you think subtractive is? It is when you take away something. So let's say I want to make my bird look a little textury. I want him to look a little feathery. And I think he's a little too chubby right there. Change his shape a little bit. So I'm going to go in with this little tool and sort of add some feathery texture. That is, I'm not adding it, I'm actually taking it away. I'm kind of taking some texture out. You can see it coming off on that little loop tool. May want to make his eye and maybe where his beak comes together, maybe crease that a little bit so that he looks like he has a beak in the right place. Now I will probably add where you see this, I'll probably paint that in. I'll add some dark color there. But I might want to take away a little bit of feathery texture throughout. And I can continue to work on him. I may work on him some more so I'm going to take out a chunk there. So that's the subtractive process. Taking away to make it look the way you want it to look. So I've got a little start there. I'm going to get a branch on so you can see that. So I'll take a little bit of cut some of this clay, skinny. And I need to look at my branch here. I'm going to lay it across on top of him, but I may have to make it like a little lower at that point. But I want it to look three-dimensional. That's the point of doing clay, not just drawing something into it, but okay. And I may need some more over here, and I'm not slipping and scoring yet, but I will. would slip and score and attach that. And I just start building it up. And you can do all kinds of different things. I chose a cardinal just for the fun of it. I want to make him look like he's sitting on that branch, so I'm going to put it there in front of him. Now, something else you can do, if you get areas, like some of this I want him to be textured. I want him to have little feathery look to him, and I'll probably let this start to set up a little bit so that if it's leather hard, I'll be able to cut it with a little bit of texture, and it'll stay that way. It'll cut cleaner, but another thing you can do and you don't have to be a slave to your drawing either. Your piece can change as you work with it. Because I'll probably want some texture on my branch, looking kind of rough. So I may change a little bit of how it's going together, but I might want that to be a little feathery. A little crest there. Now the other thing you can do is get a little bit of water on a sponge. You don't want to soak it, but as you're finishing and cleaning up, you can take a little sponge or a little bit of water on your finger. I don't have water handy right now, but you can then use that to just polish off what I call the little boogers on there. You get these little clumps like this of clay right here, and they don't look nice, and they'll be there, and they'll be like not nice things in your finished piece. So you want to try to make them look smoothed out. If you don't want to leave any little weird markings on there. Okay, so I might thicken that branch up a little bit and branch it off this way too. So I again can just continue with that. If you need to, you can take a tool and mark where you're going to put that, so you'll know then where to do your scoring. You won't have to score up the whole thing and then smooth it out. That way you can tell where to put everything, where you're wanting to put it. Just trace around it. Oops, I get some on there. Fill in those creases, because that's what's going to make it grab together and hold together when it's fired. I don't recommend smearing slip on top of anything. It does not help you stick anything down. The only reason I'm doing this is just trying to wipe it and get it out of the way, so it won't be on there. So there's my little branch. I can go in and kind of define it so it doesn't, so it has some division from the background, whatever. And then, like I said, I might want to do some texturing of my branch to get it looking a little bit like a tree. And I'd continue, put more branches up like this, and just work around my cardinal. Maybe make that one a short one. You can roll pieces of clay, kind of lay them out the way you think you want it to look. This would make a nice little Christmas gift, your tile. And then as I finished up, I would probably neaten up the edges of it, make sure the edges look nice. Also, if you want to hang this tile, a nice way to do that is to take a straw, and I thought I brought one over here, but apparently I did not. But you can take a little piece of a straw and push through the corners and make two little holes where you can like take a leather thong or a ribbon and knot it through there to hang your piece up. So this is how you start this. I will have your tiles prepped for you. You need a plan similar to this of what you're going to do on your tile, and you can get started. Thanks a lot. Bye.